Coming up in the news tonight, a new addition to the Rand Memorial Hospital officially commissioned. No new cases of COVID-19 reported on Grand Bahama in the latest health dashboard. And a local organization is doing their part to give back to those in need. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening. I'm Natalia Hall. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping the news this evening, a critical addition to the Rand Memorial Hospital commissioned this morning. The new modular theater was donated by a non-profit organization and is expected to play a vital role in the daily operations at the local healthcare facility. A ribbon-cutting ceremony for the new operating theater was held this morning. Jamila Mizik was there.
A new urgent care operating theater commissioned on Wednesday morning at the Rand Memorial Hospital. A ribbon-cutting ceremony was held to commemorate the gift from the nonprofit organization Direct Relief. The modular theater is expected to assist greatly in the daily operations at the local hospital. Public Hospitals Authority Managing Director Catherine Weech bringing remarks virtually. She says they are grateful to have forged a relationship with Direct Relief.
You came because you understood that there was a need to be able to bring together partners to respond to the rebuilding of our hospital system. And your presence is not only felt within the Rand footprint, but also throughout the community of the eastern part of Grand Bahama. You came, and through your partners, we are able to now witness and be a part of, or having available to us in this time and in times to come, should we have another disaster, a facility that would be able to respond to the emergency needs of our patients should they require surgical care.
Direct Relief Bahamas representative Robert Sweeting says they are pleased to be able to donate the theater and look forward to lending further support.
We're very honored to formally announce and present the turnkey operating theater to the Rand Memorial Hospital. We know it's been getting a lot of use lately, which we're glad to see. We're continuing to offer support to McLeanstown Clinic, High Rock Clinic, and healthcare facilities in the Abacos, and we're happy to be here and provide continued support.
Now on hand for the ribbon-cutting ceremony was Minister of State for Grants Bahama, the Honorable Kwesi Thompson, who says they're grateful to Direct Relief and are pleased to be able to commission the theater.
The theater has allowed the operation of surgeries to be performed in a safe and sterile environment. The theater came equipped with all operating theater equipment required to perform general surgeries inclusive of recovery and CSSD area. This operating theater was installed adjacent to the accident and emergency department and became available for usage August 19th, 2020. From August to October, 81 cases have been completed within this operating theater. It is now a permanent fixture, and once the main operating theaters are certified, we will have 5 public operating theaters in Grand Bahama.
The minister also taking a moment to salute the frontline workers for their efforts during this challenging time.
You have had to deal with having your place of work destroyed by storm, and then having the added pressure and risk of dealing with COVID-19, all while being called upon to serve the public with excellence in literally life and death situations. So I want to take a moment to salute you. The island salutes you, and our country salutes you.
Now, after a brief ceremony, the ribbon was cut, and Canon Norman Liborn officially blessed the operating theater. Jamila Mizik, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Jamila. Well, Christmas is just weeks away, and this time of the year is normally a peak period for local businesses. Many of them experience an uptake in sales as consumers shop for gifts and tokens of appreciation for their loved ones and friends. Tonight, the president of the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce is sharing his projections for the season and why Bahamians should shop at home. Rumiko Knowles reports.
'Tis the season to be jolly, but for many businesses, this Christmas season may not be as prosperous, as many businesses are struggling to rebound post-Hurricane Dorian and now COVID-19. But President of the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce, Greg LaRota, says the outbreak could be good news for local businesses during this Christmas season.
Maybe more folks would tend to shop at home. And so businesses would probably see an uptick in local spending that they would not have seen had it not been for this pandemic. And so overall, I think the numbers would be down. It would not be near what it has been in the past without the virus. But I think you will see probably an uptick in spending by locals at home, especially if the government continued to incentivize us to shop locally. So that's my expectation.
Now, in terms of visitors coming to the island, he believes those numbers may remain down significantly.
We know that a huge majority of our tourists come from right next door in the United States, and we can see in the news what's happening in the United States as far as the control of the virus go. They're nowhere near where they want to or need to be. And so we cannot rely on too much of that happening.
He says if the competent authority continues to incentivize shopping at home, this Christmas season may not be as bleak for local businesses.
One of the things, though, that we saw when we did our survey was that while the government did listen to us, I guess, and remove VAT from local purchases, it seems that for a lot of the persons that import stuff, they still have to pay VAT. And so with them paying the VAT, but not being able to charge it in order to claim it back, then that's still impacting the net savings to persons shopping at home.
And as we gear up for the Yuletide season, the Chamber President advocates for all to shop at home and help those struggling businesses.
When you shop locally, sometimes you may have to pay a little more for an item. But when you do that, you're keeping persons employed. Some of these persons may be family members who you have to give assistance to if they're out of a job. So by you shopping home, you can help the economy to still move along while we're in this period of leanness or struggling. As much as that as can be done, should be done.
Rumiko Knowles, ZNS Network News.
The new emergency orders released yesterday confirming that Grand Bahama is now in a curfew between the hours of 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. Monday through Sunday. The recent orders also show where some restrictions were lessened on this northern island. All business establishments and institutions can operate following all of the COVID-19 safety protocols. Restaurants can now operate until 9 p.m. A church or a place of religious instruction may conduct services in accordance with the protocols established by the Bahamas Christian Council. A person may host or attend a social gathering of not more than 20 persons at a private residence or facility. A person who hosts or attends a social gathering contrary to this order commits an offense and is liable upon summary conviction. In the case of a host, a fine of $2,000 and $300 for each person in attendance, and in the case of an attendee, a fine of $300. A wedding or funeral held in Grand Bahama may be held in a church or facility, provided that the number of attendees is no more than 10 persons exclusive of the officiant. No person shall host or attend a wedding reception or funeral repast in Grand Bahama. All beaches and parks in Grand Bahama are open daily between the hours of 5 a.m. and 8 p.m. Now, to the latest health dashboard released on Tuesday, December 2nd. There are 2 new confirmed cases of COVID-19. No new cases were reported in Grand Bahama. Those new cases bringing the country's total of confirmed cases to 7,543 rather. Those 2 new confirmed cases are in New Providence. A total of 16 cases are hospitalized. 3 of those cases are in hospital on Grand Bahama. There are 45 recoveries, and the death toll remains at 163. A 30-year-old male and a 78-year-old female were arrested yesterday after they were found to be in possession of an illegal firearm. Police say on Tuesday, December 1st, shortly after 7 a.m., officers of the flying squad, while armed with a search warrant, proceeded to the residence of 188 Golden Dew Loop, Wellington Pinder Estates, where they executed a search warrant and discovered in the home a 9mm pistol with 1 magazine containing 8 rounds of ammunition. Both occupants were arrested and taken into custody. Meanwhile, a high-powered assault rifle discovered in Grand Bahama yesterday, according to reports. Shortly after 5 p.m., officers of the Predator Unit, while on mobile patrol in the area of Sir Jack Haywood Senior High School, observed a male walking in the area who, upon seeing the officers, ran. Officers immediately gave chase and observed the male throwing an object into bushes. The male, however, was able to make good his escape. Officers then searched the surrounding bushes and discovered an AK-47 assault rifle with 1 magazine containing 23 live rounds of ammunition. Officers also discovered a clear plastic bag containing suspected marijuana. And in other news, the world continues to observe the 16-day Orange campaign that was started by the United Nations in 1999, which promotes awareness and support on the elimination of violence against women and girls globally, as many wear orange to show their support. Our Shoshana Roll-Farquharson reports on what is being done on a local and national level to join in the fight.
Here at home, the government is also promoting the UN's message along with the Grand Bahama Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, whose purpose for the past few years was to spread the message and advocate change. Social Action Chair Dr. Catherine Natalie says statistics reveal that there is a stark increase in domestic violence around the world since the pandemic, the coronavirus.
The Bahamas Crisis Center has reported a 30% increase in calls for help to them. The IDB came in and did a study in our country earlier on in the year and found a greater than 10% increase in domestic violence in our communities and during the pandemic. And it's largely believed that because of the lockdown restrictions, not just in the Bahamas, but around the world, we are safe at home because it's helping to prevent the spread of COVID-19, but a lot of persons in violent situations are actually trapped at home.
President of the Grand Bahama Alumni Chapter, Arlie Thompson, says the local sorority has done its part to spread the message and will continue to promote awareness on this global issue.
Raise awareness so that others can know what resources are out there, how we can help them, how they can use their voice, how they can use our voices so that we can eliminate this pandemic, which is the violence against women.
Going forward, the local sorority says that there are a number of planned initiatives to give women a voice.
Holding forums, educational forums, but also forums focusing on the youth because, the youth are the foundation of our future. And it's at those young ages where these patterns are formed. We also plan on having sessions where we actually highlight those who are survivors, persons who have lived through this, so that other people who are going through it can realize that they're not alone and that there's hope at the end of the tunnel. And then finally, our advocacy, which is partnering with the police, the justice system, the healthcare system, so that we, in our way, can help make them more responsible, more available to those who are suffering with these problems.
And if you want to assist in creating awareness for the next 16 days, you can wear orange or purchase a t-shirt to show support.
You can reach out to dstfreeport@gmail.com. You can contact me directly at gbacpresident@gmail.com, or you can reach out to our local fundraiser or social action chairs.
You can also visit the social media pages on Facebook at Grand Bahama Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated or Instagram at gbac.bahamas.dst. Shishina Rule-Farquharson, ZNS Network News.
As there's more news right after this break.